Welcome back to another video. First of all, I also want to say thank you, new family members. You guys are number one. You guys are all awesome. Thank you for the love and support that you guys give us. Okay, I don't know if you guys already know by the title of the video, but I don't know where to start out. Oh my god, you guys, I don't even know where to start off. Okay, well, the first and longest time I've ever stayed in jail, I guess, was 2012. Around Christmas time, I was living in Bloomfield, New Mexico. I'm sure majority of you guys know where that's at. That's like, I think like 11 miles outside of Farmington, New Mexico. My son was a little younger than Anua, maybe about a year or like 6 months.
Hi, welcome to my mom's channel. How about a present?
Remember, I drank that night. So that night, I guess something triggered, not I guess, but something did trigger me that night. Over a whole year, everything was, okay, I'll just come out and say it. A year before that, 2011, man, all the puzzles and all the pieces, the missing, like, puzzles are coming back to my head now. So 2011, my son's father, we were together, and Malachi was about 2, I guess. 3, 2, yeah. And we were living on our own in Bloomfield still. And I brought my best friend down, and then he had a best friend. I was the same age as her because we went to school together in elementary. And let's just say her name is Leah or something. So Leah is my best friend from 5th grade in Nash City when I was in elementary. And then my husband, I'm sorry, not my husband, but we were trying to set them up. Malachi's dad, he had a friend that was the same. I think he's about 3 or 4 years older than me. I need a name. Let's just call him, what should we call him? Bill. I'll say Bill. That. And I were trying to set our best friends together. Yeah, there it goes. So we were trying to set them together, and you know, I remember we drank, and I kind of, you know, like, something happened, I forgot, and then I was mad at him. So I was like, you know what, whatever, go have fun. And I mean, we were having fun. We were in the living room, we were just drinking, and I braided my friend's hair because it was so long. Well, my ex-friend, me, I haven't talked to her, seen her, or nothing. I have nothing to do with her or whatever. So we were playing hair, or I braided her hair. I was doing some cornrows and all that. And so I got mad for some reason. I remember I was mad. I went into the room, locked the door, and I just went to sleep with Malachi because he was already out. It was like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So I just laid by him, and we both fell asleep, and we had a 2-bedroom apartment. So Malachi had his own room, but we were just storing stuff in there, like what we're doing here. Just kidding, not really. Like, we're putting, no, he had a bed in there and all his crazy toys. And I just went to bed because I didn't want to make it any worse, I guess you could say. I mean, I didn't know anything was going on. Malachi's dad cheated on me with my best friend. He cheated on me that, I don't even know if it was towards, like, I think it was during Christmas time too. I think it was, yeah. Because I remember the snow and, okay, yeah. So a year after that, we didn't talk about it. We just like settled it. And we said, okay, fine. Don't talk about it. Don't do it again. Don't. Gone.
Mommy.
So that was it went pretty well, you know, as mad as I was, but I just didn't, you know, want to just break it off. And so that was fine. And then I remember that night what I was talking about triggered was we seen his friend, and then I was like, it just happened a year ago, you know. So I was just like, whatever, talk to your friend. I hope you guys don't, I mean, I didn't say I hope you guys don't talk about her or whatever. And he didn't talk to him too. Yeah. So I just let them be, you know. He wants to talk to his friend, fine, cool. So I left, got back in the car, and I was just kind of like being all natural. Saying that. I was just sitting in the car. Oh no, I started driving back to, we were doing Christmas shopping that night. It was Christmas Eve. We went home. We stopped at the store, got some stuff, like alcohol and all that stuff, and we got into a fight. Okay, this is fast forward back to 2012. We got into a fight, and he, like, it was a big old, like, a situation I've never been in. I remember I was trying to leave that night. I was trying to leave to Albuquerque because that's where everybody was at. My mom, my late mom, her boyfriend, my little brother, my sister's cousin, and we always had this thing where we go to Albuquerque and spend time with our family. So that's where everybody was, and I was over here with my own family, you know. So, you know, I still want to go out to see other my family, you know. So we got into an argument that night, and then I told him, fine, you know what, I'm just gonna leave. And then he goes, no, you can't leave because you're all drinking. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I didn't, like, I'm not all drunk and to the point where I don't know what I'm doing. And I should have just called my mom or something. I think everything just happened too fast. So I was trying to leave. I grabbed some clothes, just a basket of clothes for Malachi and I, and some his important stuff like diapers and wipes, and that was it. So I put my basket in the vehicle, in the Chevy Blazer. I went to go get him, but he was like in our room. Malachi and Bill, they were in the room, and I was just like, you know, I need to take Malachi, we're leaving. And then he didn't want to, so I ended up taking him away while he was asleep. I picked him up, we walked outside, and then I put him in the car seat. I was just sitting there, and I was kind of like, am I making the right decision? Should I leave? It's like in the middle of the night, it's snowing. It was beginning to snow too. So basically it was Christmas Day, I guess, since it was after midnight. So we sat in the car for like maybe 20 minutes, and I didn't want Malachi to feel uncomfortable and just sit there in the car seat and whatnot. So I went back inside, and Malachi had his own room. So anyways, I put Malachi down. I just laid him down, and then I closed the door like a little bit, and I went into the room, and I laid down by Bill. Oh, we decided not to go. I'm just gonna go to sleep. And he was all mad, like, because I guess I tried to leave and he didn't do anything about it, or I don't know what was going on in his mind. I don't know how men think or whatever, but I told him, I said, I'm not leaving, you know, like hey. And then so he was all like, get off of me. I was all like, dang. I was like, okay. So I just laid up, and then I was just laying there. I was like, all right, well, I guess we'll just go to bed. And then that's when he got up, and I told him, what are you doing? What's going on? And we like I said, everything just happened so fast. It kind of feels like I blacked out for a while, but when I really thought about it, like, it was really scary. He pushed me off the bed, and like he was all like hitting me, and I was like, stop, you know, what's your problem? And I should have just got up and laid by Malachi. I mean, there's like so many things you wish you can do, but he didn't fight, and he was like trying to choke me and hit me, and I freaked out. So I ran out of my room, and I ran to the kitchen, and I got like a steak knife, and then I couldn't find a regular knife. So he came into the restaurant, he was all like raged up and everything. I was like, hey. And then I had the knife. I was like, stop, get away from me. And then that's when I grabbed another knife. I think it was like almost like a chicken knife. Stop, just leave me alone. So that's when I was like freaking out. I was kind of getting probably like 5 or 6 in the morning or something. So I was like kind of freaking out. Back into the room, but he came into the room and he knocked that steak knife out of my hand. So in my head I was like, yeah, whatever, I still have a knife anyways. And so I was trying to leave. That's when he grabbed me. We just started fighting, wrestling. So we both fell on the bed. We tumbled onto the bed and he was like trying to choke me. So that's when I thought, because he was like on top of me and he was just like choking me, and like I kind of freaked out because I couldn't breathe and I was just thinking about Malachi the entire time. But I managed to kind of like push him off. So I managed to push him off. That's when I got up and I got on top of him and I grabbed that knife that was in my jacket pocket, because remember I told you I had 2 knives. So I got that knife and I grabbed it, and oh no, it was another steak knife, but he grabbed it and then he broke it with his hand, and I think his hand kind of like got cut or something. I remember he was bleeding a little bit right there. So I managed to get on top of him, and like, so I grabbed the knife and like I held it up. I remember I was sitting on him. I was like, stop. And he's like, go ahead, do it. And then I just like, then that's when he tried to grab the knife and we both wrestled. And then that's when we fell onto my left. And then that's when he hit his head on the heater. And then that's when I got up and I was trying to crawl. I got up and that's when he turned me around. And that's when I had that other knife. So I guess I had 3 knives altogether or something. It was really hard by life there that time. Oh my God, I don't want to ever go through that again. And nobody should, you know. Hold on. Anyways, so that's when, so when we both fell, I had the knife right, like in a stabbing motion. I wasn't going to stab him because that's Malachi's dad. I wouldn't do that. But like what I mean, your fast instinct reaction is to hurt that person too. Like, so, you know, you'll have time to get away or whatever. And so I remember when we both fell, that's when the knife cut him like right here. Like right here's his chest area, and then like right here, I remember it cut him. And then he pulled up his shirt and he was all like, oh man, he's all like, not to say oh man, but he was all like, oh, he's all like, you cut me. And then at the same time his hand was bleeding. So, you know, like it wasn't bleeding out fast, and the chest part wasn't bleeding out fast too, but I saw blood coming out. And I just kind of freaked out. I was like, oh no. And I didn't think about like the cops or anything. I was just like I didn't know what to think next. I didn't know what to do next. That's when he's like, oh, you cut me. And then I was like, no, I didn't. And he's like, look. He pulled up his shirt. He showed me. I was standing by the closet. And that's when he like leaped over the, like, the door is right here. And our bed was just right here. I was standing by the closet because it was this 2-slide door, and he was standing right here. He like kind of like jumped over, and that's when I had a chance to run, but I didn't. That's when he leaped over and grabbed me, and we both fell on the floor. And I remember I banged my head on the lamp. And after that, that's when he like grabbed me and choked me again. He was on top of me, and this time, anyway, so he had me on the floor where there was carpet, and his weight, he had his legs around me, and he had me down like in a position where I couldn't do anything, and I couldn't reach the trash can. I tried, there was nothing on the floor. I couldn't do anything, and I was just like, oh my God, this is like, I was about to become blackout mode. Because he was choking me, and I was just like, oh my God. And then I had looked to my right where the lamp's at, where it didn't bust or anything, but whatever was on top, it fell, and it was my iPod. So I grabbed the iPod and I started bashing him in the head because he was choking me, and I couldn't. I remember I bashed it like 3-4 times, like really hard, and maybe more, I don't know. But I remember he started bleeding a lot, like a lot. And That's when he got up and he was just freaking out. He was like, oh. That's when I ran to Malachi, and he was like, I need that. That's when babe stopped. That's when he was like, I need your help. He's like, please. He's like, help me. I was like, I'm gonna go see my mom, because by then it was kind of already morning outside, and I was like, I'm gonna go see my family in Albuquerque, you know, like I'll be over there with Malachi. And our clothes and everything was still in the car too, so I was ready to just leave, but he was like, you know, please come back, and can you take me to at least drop me off at the hospital. And I was like, I said, as long as you don't try to do anything, you have to promise me. And he was like, I'm weak, I can't do anything. And that's when we pulled up a shirt, and it was bloody right here. And that's when I grabbed the thing and I told him put pressure on it. And he was like, he's like, I can't put pressure. I was like, you have to. And then I guess that knife and everything was in my pocket too. And so we left, and I put my, and then we left in the car, not the Blazer. So we left from the apartment. We walked out, and I think I had a load of laundry in there too, I remember. But anyways, we left. We went to San Juan Regional Hospital in Farmington. It's about 11 miles or so. We get there, and so, all right, I'm gonna drop you off at the emergency room, and you know, like, we're gonna go to Albuquerque. I said, I don't know where to go. I need to be around my family right now. And he was just like, well, he's like, wait, let's just talk about it first. Wait, don't go yet. I was like, please. I was just trying to tell him, please just get out. And then that's when, I think there was like an ambulance came behind us, so I had to get out of the way. So I drove in, then had to drive out, and then I had to park over here. So he was like, yeah, you know, like, just park it, let's talk. And then we were just like, he said that we were ready to talk, and I was just sitting there. And then that's when he just like reached over to the where my keys are in the ignition. He reached over, grabbed it, and I had a lanyard, and I grabbed the lanyard, but he was like so strong, he just like ripped it out of my hand, and he just ripped it off. And I was like, give me back my keys. And I didn't have no extra keys or anything. He grabbed the keys, he took off, and shit, I didn't even know what to do. I was just like, he took the keys, and he got up, and he started walking in. And that's when I got up with Malachi, and he was awake, and we walked in after him. I was like, can somebody help us? And I was like, he's been stabbed, he's bleeding, and that's what he said too. When we walked in, he's all like, they're all like, what happened? They hurry up and brought a wheelchair, and then they asked him what happened. He's like, I got stabbed. And oh my gosh, you know what? On our way to the hospital, I was afraid. I said, I don't know where to drop you off. I'm not going up front because, you know, I'm already in trouble. I was thinking about it when I was driving. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm probably gonna, like, something's gonna happen with the cops. I was like, oh my god. I was like freaking out again. Not again, but I started freaking out. And I tell him, and he was, I guess he was just acting. He was acting like he wasn't mad at me. So we're driving, and on our way over, that's when he told me, he said, we'll just say that we're doing laundry. He was saying, yeah, we'll just make up a story. I was like, a story? What are you talking about? He said, as long as you're there for me, we're gonna get through this. Well, he didn't say get through this, but like, I mean, I don't even know what he said to me, and all I remember was like, we'll tell the cops that he said, we'll just say that you were checking the laundry and we were smoking a cigarette at the same time. So this guy walked up, and he was asking for a cigarette, and we told him that we didn't have any. He was asking for money, and we told him, we'll say that we didn't have any. So that's when he got upset. He just did it like a stabbing motion, and that's when I was standing there and I didn't know, I didn't feel anything till he left. Anyway, so he said that guy just stabbed me and then he took off running and we didn't know who he was or whatever. So we went back inside and we'll say we just applied pressure, and then after that we just decided to go to the hospital because he was feeling woozy, like he was feeling ill. So I was all like, oh my god, I was all like, okay, because I thought that everything was still gonna be okay. We just had a big crazy fight that drinking was involved. So I was just like, okay. I was just like listening to him because at that time I wasn't in my right mind anymore, and I was just like, he was like guiding me and telling me what to do, and I guess like controlling. So we get to the hospital. That's when he said, oh, I got stabbed. He didn't say she stabbed me. My son's mom stabbed me. He didn't say that. He said some guy stabbed me. So that's when they took him, and then he's all like, we gotta go now. You guys have to stay out here. It was the doctors or those nurses were talking to Malachi and I said, okay. So we end up staying, and I just like let go, and then he's like, wait, come here. So that was the last kiss I gave him. We kissed each other, not like smooching on it, we just like, and he said he loved me, and I said I loved him too. And then we sat down. I was just freaking out, and I was just like, I hope he'll be okay. And then that's when I noticed that there was like blood on my hand, my hand and everything. So I was like, so I just freaked out. I didn't want to freak out nobody at the hospital, so I went to the restroom with Malachi and I washed my hand. And then I was digging in my jacket pocket, and then I found the broken knife. I was like, oh my god. And then I threw it in the trash where you wipe your hands and you throw the paper towel. So I did that, and I went back to the lobby, just waiting there. And then that's when a detective came, and he's all like, are you Shavana? I'm like, yeah, that's me. As I'm Shavana Scatero. Bill is my we weren't married and all that, but I guess like common law you're married or something, not legally, but so I was like, yeah, he's my husband. He's like, can you come with me and let's go into a room and talk private. I was like, okay. So we went in there, and then he told me, he's all like, my name is so, I don't even remember his name. I don't even remember if he introduced himself or if well, obviously he said he was a detective, so I had to listen to him. So I was just sitting there, and then he took out, I think he pressed the recorder too, like he pressed played or record and play or record. And then he took a notebook, and he's all like, what's your name? Where do you guys live? How old are you? What's your social security number? What's your date of birth? And who is he? When was he born? And do you have any relatives? I'm like, yeah. I mentioned like his mom, his sister, and my mom. And so that's what happened. And then after he got done talking and I got done after he got done asking me the questions, that's when he told me, he's like, you need to tell me exactly what happened before you guys came here. So I said, okay. So I was just sitting there, and in back of my head, I remember I was like, what about that part when Bill was telling me that this guy stabbed him? I was like, what do I say about that part? He said he wants the truth, the detective. And then I was like, oh, I didn't know because I didn't know. And so I started from the beginning. I told him, why, what, how, and all the questions he wanted. Well, everything that happened, I guess you would say, from the time we got home to what happened during that whole time, everything until we got to the hospital. After that, he left. He said, I'll be right back. I was like, okay. So just sitting there, and then they had like little toys for Malachi. And he came back. I think it took him like 10 minutes, maybe less. But he came back, and he was like, he's like, you know what? He's like, you're not telling me the truth. I I mean, I didn't say that. I was like, oh my God. I just like put my head down. I just like, I felt scared. And so he said, you're not telling me the truth, and I need you to tell me the truth. I was like, okay, so that means he already talked to Cameron. I mean, I'm sorry, to Bill. So I told him the truth. I said, this is what happened, and the wrestling and all that part and everything, and that's why I hit him with the iPod. That's why his head on this side was bashed in, and not bashed in, but because I couldn't breathe. He was choking me. He bit me, and he was looking at me. He said, we need to get that checked out. And that was it. Like, do you have any relatives? He's like, what's the grandma, the Nulle, they had to call her. And so this lady came in and she took Malachi. She's like, come on, let's go, we're gonna go over here. And I was like, I started freaking out. I was just sitting there. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? What is going on? I was like, am I dreaming? What's going on? I was just like sitting there. And then they took Malachi. They're like, we're gonna have to take him, or they didn't say we had to take him, but they just took him out the room. And I just sat there. And then that's when they're like, okay, come with me. And then I think they handcuffed me. They handcuffed me in the front, and then I sat in the car. So that's gonna be it for tonight. It's kind of it's late. I'm getting tired. I'm gonna go get ready for bed and head to bed, and maybe do some more videos in the morning. But I appreciate you guys clicking on this video. I'm sorry, I'm super sorry. It's a long video. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't take too much of your time. Thank you for clicking this video. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Stay safe, stay blessed. Happy New Year. Don't forget to check on your family and friends. Have a good day, have a good night. We'll see you in the next video, okay?